All right, hello. Hey, here's today's daily video. And there were a couple of topics I wanted to cover just based on conversations throughout the day, last couple of days. Some things emerge and pop up. And so, one of the really great questions that happens, and I love this about our company, our organization, our team, by the way. Some of you have noticed on the sales newsletter, just rocking it, really great things. And so, kudos to everybody on the newsletter as well. Betsy DeMann out there competing for one of the top spots in the company. And it's really exciting when someone is very passionate about the community and putting out a great product and just all the things that we're passionate about. I know Betsy is passionate about, and then to see that channel into really great things. So keep up the fantastic work, everybody. And the topics, I jotted a couple down. Preparing a prospect list sounds like it could be pretty simple. You just put some businesses on a list, but there are definitely some do's and some don'ts, some things that help us make calling more effective and just get better success out of it. And then a few things about setting second appointments and a little bit about momentum as well. Momentum is a life thing. It's absolutely a business thing. There's an energy that comes with it. It's a very, very powerful. So let's talk about preparing a prospect list. So what are a few nuanced tips to help us be able to sit down and be very efficient with our calling? Because at the end of the day, the more efficient we are, more effective we are, the better we feel, right? I know it feels much greater to get three yeses in less than 60 minutes on a consistent basis early in the day than to drag our calls throughout the day or to call someone and just, than to be ineffective. I'd rather be effective than ineffective. I think we can all agree on that, right? So one of the things that happens sometimes is we get away from some of the basics or fundamentals. And I am a huge fan. What I really believe is that once you master a few basic principles of something, it really opens up the whole world for you in terms of being successful and growing and doing very, very well at it. There's an old book by Miyamoto Musashi, I think his name is. It's called The Book of Five Rings. And he says, once you understand something broadly, basically the base of it, you can apply that to anything in life. It's very, very true. So when I think of preparing a prospecting list, there's a good one, a great one, an effective one. There's a few basic things. One is we know we should prepare it the day before. We don't want to prepare it, and then jump right into it and be like, man, I hope that was good. I kind of rushed it, or research and do things as we're calling that can be a big drag. That can be very frustrating. That can take way longer than it needs to. So one is just preparing a prospecting list its proper time and space. Shouldn't take really more than 5 or 10 minutes in my experience, maybe 15 at the most to prepare for the next day. We're just taking businesses we've already prospected, putting them on a call list for the next day, having a good mix of small, medium, large. In a perfect world, and I don't say this because I don't want to cause any overthinking or anything that might take way longer than it needs to. But in a perfect world, we want a prospect list that gets us 6 small, 6 medium, and 3 large appointments per week, right? So 6 small businesses, 6 medium businesses, and 3 large. That's how we get a closing percentage of 20% is the average, is having that mix of businesses. So I'll be thinking about that as I'm making the list, but I'm not going, oh, I have 3 realtors and 7 of this. I don't need to get that specific. That can the perfectionism can slow us down. And at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, right? So that's super important too. But it is important to be accurate. So let's talk about variety, or really, I like to call it variety or diversity on a list as well. Something that's really, really important is that it can be, and this is not a perfect science, this next part, and it's not even an absolute, but it's something I see happen quite often as we build a prospect list around 1 or 2 industries or even 3. So there's not a lot of diversity or variety. It's like, hey, I want to get a dentist, so I've got 25 dentists on my list today. You can do that, and you might even find success in doing that. The danger is from getting to work with so many different folks, and even in my own experience, I did that once. I remember with HVAC companies one time, and it turned out it was a really bad day to call HVAC companies, and my list was heavily weighted towards them, and it was a heat wave. They're on my part, but good learning experience is that you don't know what's going on in the industry. So the example I like to think of is real estate. If I just built a list of real estate agents and mortgage brokers for one day, and it was 25 of each, and that was my 50 businesses, I might get 3 yeses. I could be successful getting 3 yeses. But let's say something happened like recently. There was a big case, news article, it's a big deal in the real estate industry. You might be hearing about this, or the National Association of Realtors, and there was a lawsuit essentially. So let's say I tried calling real estate agents, and for some reason they're in emergency meetings. Well, half my list is dead. Now that's a bigger impact if it's half my list versus if it's 5 or 6 people on my list. So what do I mean by variety or diversity in a prospecting list? Simply that if I look at my 50 businesses, I want to have a good variety, small, medium, large, and I probably want at least 7 different industries. I don't want to go too heavy in one industry. And I know the question could be, well, Derek, what if I'm hunting for an expert in this category? Great. Again, you're more than welcome to do that. This is just something I see that happens as a trend once in a while. And also, if you want to go heavy in one industry, a way to do that would be as you look at 5 days of calling, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can have 10 real estate agents each day on your prospect list. And by the end of the week of getting 3 yeses, just naturally as a byproduct of how you set up your list, you'll end up being able to go deep in that category, right? So that's important. You want to have a good mix of businesses, small, medium, large, focus on the top 10 to 15 industries. Sure, there are all kinds of businesses that buy from us. Consistently, one of the things you'll see is that focus on the top 10 to 15 in terms of people that buy the most, they buy the biggest ads. I think it's on page 17 in the workbook or manual. If you need help, if you see this video and you go, hey, where can I find that? Send me a text message. I'll just send you a little screenshot of it, have it on my phone, laptop, really everywhere. I can pull it up in resources pretty fast. So I'll get you that list of top 10 to 15. It's the one that says insurance agents and real estate agents, home builders, all of those things. So that's really, really important. So here's a couple thoughts on setting second appointments too. They're important and make sure we do it. The reason is it's super, there's a lot of reasons, but it's super interesting to think that we have different personality types sometimes, right? And for example, my fiance and I, we're total opposites on a few things in terms of our scheduling. She's more like a butterfly, and I'm more of a like precision accuracy with things. Now, both have their benefits and both also have their downfalls. You don't want to be too rigid, but if you're too flexible, that can also create a lack of things happening or one way or the other. So there's a good middle ground there when it comes to running a business or being a publisher. And that is the ability to leave an appointment with one of 3 things. One is an order. Obviously, that's great when they sign. That's what we're going for. Got a little thumbs up there. That's kind of neat. I don't know if you can see it on your screen. That was pretty cool. And then the second thing would be, so we want an order or we would like a flat out no. They can tell me no. That's totally fine. I'd rather get a no than a maybe, because a maybe means we miss something. I miss something, they miss something. I need to ask another question. We need to figure out what that maybe is, because it maybe is just a lack of clarity. Or the third thing is a firm second, right? So I want an order. I want a complete no, not right now. That's great. We'll figure it out months down the road, whenever that makes sense. Or a second appointment. So there's a really good 5-minute resource in Back Office by Kevin Orton that is a deep dive on setting seconds. I'll just really leave with 2 things here. One is, let's make sure we get them, right? And using who, what, when, where, why, how questions will help us get them, because if we ask sometimes some questions in a yes or no fashion, like send a second appointment, hey, can I come back tomorrow and we talk about this again? They can just say, nope, that's okay. Send me an email, call me, right? But if I pull out my calendar, give a choice of 2 times and say, hey, it's only going to take a few minutes when we come back. One is you'll say, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Or you'll have questions, or maybe you'll just say no, whatever is the case. But I have a 10:15 or a 2:15 tomorrow. Which one's better for you, right? And if they, maybe there's a little resistance, we have to ask again. Third or fourth time, I might say, hey, when can the 2 of us get together? Are you thinking this day or this day? So who, what, when, why, how, versus yes or no. So that's a really, really powerful way to book those. Second thing is, when we go back to a second appointment, what do? One of the keys, one of the biggest keys, or maybe the biggest key for closing at least 50% of our firm second appointments, and firm just means we have a specific date and time to go back, is a simple reconnection to the last conversation. It's good to take notes to know where we left things and to go back, and something along the lines of, hey, Derek, last time I was here, you were looking at the third of a page or the half page. which one did you decide to go with? That's key. Which one did you decide to go with? Versus, hey, how'd the thinking about it go? What happened? Anything changed since last time I was here? We don't want to raise any doubt, right? We want to be very confident that we're there to do business. They should be doing business with us. We're ready for that. So that's the key in second. And the last thing I'll talk about is momentum. I know that some folks do actually book same day appointments. I think that's fantastic. When we need to, or when we feel like we want to ramp up some things, or they're just willing to meet and you have the time slot, that's good. I also really, really believe in the power of a strong routine or rhythm in our business. And so when we're booking 3 S's, right? Let's say today's Wednesday. Let's say I just went on vacation and for some reason I didn't book appointments to come back to, and I'm just starting from scratch right now. Or I'm hitting the total reset, or I just came out of training today, whatever that is. And I'm looking at my calendar, right? And this is just an example. You can match it to where you're at. When I'm getting my 3 S's, generally speaking, I might book one for tomorrow and maybe two for Friday, right? So today's Wednesday. So I have one for tomorrow, two for Friday. Now I wake up tomorrow. Let's say I just get 3 S's again. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm like, hey, 3 per day is fine, even though I don't have more, even have more space. And so my on Thursday, my 3 might be one more on Friday. Now Friday is full. And then one on Monday, one on Tuesday, right? Cool. Now I wake up on Friday and let's say I put 2 on Monday. Great. Now Monday's full, one more on Tuesday, Tuesday's full, and so forth. So we're generally booking about 2 to 3 days out. And that's really, really powerful. Not too far, but not too close. Sometimes what happens with the same day appointment is they feel like it's kind of rushed. You just talked to them this morning. There was a publisher that I worked with years ago, Mike. I'm trying to think of his last name. Super awesome guy, man. It's been like 6 or 7 years, but he was actually really, really good at booking same day appointments and signing, doing drop-ins. I'd never seen anything like it. So it was really, really special. So I don't want to put a dimmer on anybody if that's your style or that's your thing. Also, it is sometimes harder though, because you're like really up and down, highs and lows. So this consistency of booking 2 to 3 days out and 3 S's can really, really build powerful energy, momentum, and peace too, because there's order, there's consistency. We know we have things, money in the bank in terms of appointments to look forward to. So I hope you found this very, very helpful. And obviously, leave comments and text messages, emails. We'll talk again soon, those kind of things. So however you want to leave feedback for this, I love it. Any topics you'd like, please feel free to send over, and have a great day.